is going to be Mirage as the stage, a map that has at one point defined Fnatic in the dominant era that they had. This was a map they were very, very good on. This is going to be tough, though. This is a long way to go. #1 team in the world, Astralis. I mean, the desk highlighted it perfectly, how good they are and how much Fnatic. I mean, we haven't seen them hit that level again where we feel confident they can take this.
Yeah, I do feel, though, even like when they had their split, even for Godsent, this was the one map where you sort of looked at them with, like, when Crims was in that roster, that this was actually still very, very good. Their CT side was phenomenal, and they actually played against Astralis on this map and had a dreadful T side, I think it was at WSG, and still managed to pull it all the way back. Now, that was before we had all the changes and Astralis really became that dominant roster that we see before us now. But at the same time, this has always been a map that you look at these guys and say, okay, they can pull these sort of changes off. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Astralis have that sort of nightmare scenario. It used to be the way they had to go through. Like every time they go into this sort of bad situation of playing against one of the biggest teams for an elimination stage.
Yeah, I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be happy that at least at the moment, Fnatic still just hasn't looked like they've hit their peak. So they'll be happy about that. But I mean, Duncan brought up a very good point of Device and how much work he's been putting in, like at his computer every day, all day while he's here. Insane preparation that he's been putting in. Obviously, though, I mean, the interesting thing about this map is, well, yes, Fnatic has been very, very good on the past. Astralis kind of like reinvented a way to play it where, you know, there was this mid-heavy kind of meta at the time, and the Astralis players kind of changed it to where you didn't, as CT, you didn't have to challenge for mid. You could let them have mid control, and and they were one of the few teams who could really do a good job of containing where you could go from there and just stopping you from going anywhere after you got mid control, which was very creative, very difficult for teams to play against. So, going to be interesting to see what they decide to do here. I thought Yanko's point, you know, see if they're going to be aggressive on the CT side was very, very good. A lot of options available to him, so I think this. You have to put it down to Device's opping. How effective is he going to be? He's actually tagged as Sun Device.
Sun Device.
So a little bit of maybe the battle with the Nightman. The Nightman cometh.
We'll see whether or not he can actually pull that one off. Of course, as you said, I think mid-control is definitely going to be an interesting contention. And like the counter-op on the other side, will it be like the sort of flashy JW plays of old? Or is he just going to be countered straight out of the game? Like, do you think that he can get back to that level that we saw quite a while ago?
He's the X factor, right? He's the opera where if he comes out, the impact he can have, just those plays he can make, the space that it creates is so deadly, so difficult to deal with. So. Yeah, but I mean, that's like the story we've had with Fnatic for some time now since this roster got back together right after the major was like, if we see the old version of Olaf, if we see the old version of JW, if we see the old version of Crims, and much like some of the other teams that we've talked about in this tournament, you know, like Na'Vi with Guardian and Simple, and like NIP with Force and Get Right, you know, it remains to be seen if that if is actually going to come true.
We are going to be making our way into the pistol. This is where Dennis normally has his domain, so see if he can start off in that same sort of fashion. But again, it's sort of that if once more with this whole team and how they are going to show up. They're starting on their trusty CT side, and at least initially we are going to see a challenge for mid-control from the Ts. Just waiting, though, for any sort of aggression.
Not getting any either. Olaf is going to be spotting flushes over in B, and Crimson JW playing pretty passively at the ticket booth over in A. Molotov out towards window. Here's that mid control for Astralis. Are they going to jump right through the smoke, or are they going to cut up? Oh, what a shot from Debris. Just deletes Dennis off the map, and now this gets tough. Olaf is forced back. It's all about JW and Crims from here.
They've already been smoked out of the site. There is still an open position over towards the CT side, and well, it looks like the Ts are challenging for now, but the bomb has gone down. Every single player from Fnatic coming in from the same angle. They're going to bunch up, try and get themselves on, and Crims is actually going to find that first kill back into the side. But the after plants are very good at the moment from this T side. They've just got things planted, but the defuse attempting to come in already. Crims is just going to go straight for it. He's only got a second left on the clock, but he goes down. It's not happening at the moment. Flusher just trying to get back in himself and go for the defuse, but that was just a last-ditch effort, and Astralis dominant in the pistol.
Yeah, that was desperation smoke from Fnatic. They didn't get the kind of success they wanted on the initial hit. Obviously, Dennis goes down so quick. But Crimson JW over at that ticket booth didn't get enough kills. They didn't get any, actually. So once the plant goes down, you could just see 4 different players from Astralis just peppering the smoke with Glock bullets, Caribbean Glaive, nice shots. And Fnatic is basically just trying to put bodies in front of the diffuser and distract and stay alive long enough, and it doesn't pan out. So Astralis with the pistol lead, force up in the second round. JW the Deagle takes one shot, falls away. No damage dealt.
Heavy investment into SMGs this round for Astralis. The one ranged weapon will be on Kirby, and it's been used to try and take control of middle already. CT side haven't really got any presence in that scenario whatsoever, and most of the players, in fact, are over towards this B site.
Yeah, gambling a little bit towards the B-bomb site. Crims has the scout, interestingly enough, so he's playing deep into the window room. He's going to be smoked out, denial of information. These are those basic smokes that Yanko is talking about that everyone knows. Even when you have an AWP, even when you have any scoped weapon, I mean, it's so popular on this map, but it's easy to deny information. Dennis gets a kill, stays alive as well. He's over at Tetris, though, and he's got to be careful. There goes Flusha, though. JW gets one more, so damage is being dealt, but it's down into a 3-on-3. Actually, 3-on-2 make that Olaf with the flank.
They're actually going to go and try and get back in for this retake. Both players over towards the same spot as well. There isn't a kit for the CTs to actually play with. And it looks like Kirby's going to go running all the way around the map to try and get onto short. Now, it's a 10-second defuse, so this really isn't a problem whatsoever. You can see Olaf trying to look back. He sees where the bomb is planted. He's trying to make the read that they're going to go back around, but he may just be that little bit too late. He takes the peak, in fact, early. And now, well, they do get that one, but it's just going to be Kirby defending. They've got to try and get someone on that bomb as well with the time ticking away, but they take him down, and they will have enough time just about, I think, to defuse that bomb.
This might be just the closest defuse we've had of the tournament, but they are going to get it right at the end. Unreal from Fnatic.
Look at Olaf's face as well. He knows it.
And here's the other if that we haven't really mentioned. If Fnatic can pull off some of those miracle rounds, it will help out immensely, and that is incredible. Especially considering, I mean, Kirby got there and actually pulled the diffuser off initially. They had to readjust and make sure that was shored up, and just instantaneous kills from the Fnatic players.
Not really going to see much of an investment back in from Astralis. They do keep around that 2K margin after getting the bomb plant, and they know that they can get themselves a buyback into the next round. But this is going to be great for Fnatic at least. Winning that second round, they're going to look to try and make as much money as they can in this one by just keeping everyone alive. Obviously, Crims does has himself that UMP, which will make $600 per kill that he gets. And in terms of the T's play at the moment, they're looking to challenge mid through underpass and possibly boost up into that window.
Dennis with the scout nade out from JW. He spotted one top mid, know there's presence, and that's an easy kill. Flashbang blinds Glaive. Astralis is down 2. They haven't had a huge investment in this round. You can see they have a deagle. They had some upgraded pistols, but no armor, so not any kind of massive detriment of their economy by this kind of a buy. But the remaining 3 members are all split, and with that deagle, Dupree is essentially the only one that has any real danger of picking off a Fnatic player.
And you can see the way, after realizing what sort of investment was that Fnatic are actually going to be playing, they're taking these more ranged battles. Olaf playing very far back and just in a crossfire. If Dupree tries to jump back out, he is going to go down to the player on short. JW just cleaning things up across the map, and, well, there we go. Flawless round, keeping every single player alive, but the buy is coming back now for Astralis.
Yeah, and smart play from Olaf there. I mean, it's low risk in terms of losing the round, but, I mean, not even really peeking, not giving an opportunity to Dupree get that pick. He knows he's got backup in Flusha with the M4, so he's just kind of hiding, knowing if Dupree wanted any chance at even trying, he had to commit to the bomb site. So just being safe with the guns that they have. Scout is still in Dennis's hands. And like you said, buy out of Astralis. 4 AK-47s, 1 Galil. There's a smoke used. They only have 2 smokes and 2 flashes, so whatever they do, they don't really have a great opportunity. Yeah, it's a miss smoke. That's no good. But, I mean, they don't really have a great chance to grab mid-control and then, like, keep it. They don't have the utility for it, so it'll be interesting to see what exactly they decide to do.
And when you do have such minimal smokes, missing the first one is not going to be helping out whatsoever. Flusher already making his way up short, taking the peak. He has the crossfire with JW at the moment, and he is looking to just try and find something, but JW is going to go down, quickly traded out. Nade will go down into lower, and that will do a nice bit of damage. Kirby down to 43 HP already. They have gained mid-control, and they do have 1 player just waiting over towards ramp at the moment. And they're looking to try and get back into window.
Yeah, they boosted one up, so Fnatic's got to be careful about that. It's going to be Olaf Meister who's in the most danger of it. But look at Crims. This kind of a play. He's gathering a lot of information. There goes Olaf down to Kirby. So Dennis is going to be the one under pressure. But actually, with that kill, looks like the mind changes from Astralis. They decide to readjust. Where it looked like they were going to go towards A, now going towards B. There's the timer. Like, when does Crims decide to make his move? Because if he pushes forward and sees nothing there, that would be a phenomenal read for Fnatic to have.
And the problem is that they seem to have a little bit more of a read over towards this A site. Flusher was making his way back a little bit, but obviously they know that they've already taken over that window control and just wary that somebody could push in behind him. They have very little in terms of knowledge, and now the push is going to come in with just Flusher on the site. He has to do everything here. His teammates are nowhere near the action, and he's going to get spotted out and, well, removed very, very quickly. The round should be done from here as the remaining CTs do look to try and rotate back, but Dupree's is just going to be holding any sort of cross. Crims will be spotted. And while Dennis may be able to catch one, in fact, still loses the duel. And now it is just Crims left. He's got his UMP. May try and make a little bit of money, but shut down by Device. And Astralis back.
Yeah, nice round from Astralis. That one kill on the rotator in mid was everything. That was huge. So 2-2. A little bit interesting, though. I mean, a little bit, we're not seeing out of Fnatic trepidation to kind of make plays. Crims in that Palace for a long, long time, never pushing forward. Just holding it in case, I mean, obviously believing that they were going to come back towards A and maybe looking to catch people off guard in Palace. Doesn't pan out. 2-2, good trading from Astralis, and a good win on a round where they didn't have a whole lot to work with.
What is going on with these smokes? There's a second one just left in the spawn.
That's not
Couple
good.
of mistakes being made, and, well, it does mean that they're not going to have anything to block off that window push, but luckily, Glaive's going to be absolutely fine, and they're just going to go aggressively towards this B site. Olov is the man to watch at the moment, as he's the only person to defend off, trying to hold back, but Dupree with the entry takes him down, and now they're fighting to try and get back in. Dennis going in alone, manages, well, not even that. Dupree gets another one, and the remaining three players, this time they don't have a buffer. They don't have any extra money. They have got to save.
Normally you see Astralis establish some kind of a pace before they really switch things up and go for that kind of very, very fast B play, but this time completely catching Fnatic off guard. I mean, it's smart as well. Once they get into the site, Dupree just wrapping around that site. You have to clear out that position. Olaf is in. Even Dennis couldn't really recover, and they beat the rotations. A little bit unfortunate. I mean, it was just kind of a blind outcall and tactically, because Fnatic had a lot of manpower pushing into Palace. It was Crims and JW working to clean that out, working to get that information. And it just doesn't pan out this time. But 3-on-4s at the moment. Device is not really committing to taking any away, not willing to push in and lose the AK-47, but still some things to work with on Fnatic. They'll buy up around these three, obviously.
Yeah, and a huge boost, it has to be said, for the T's economy, as they keep every single player alive in that round after Dupree's heroics over towards that B site. Now, in terms of the buyback up, we've got our trusty UMPs coming in for the CT side. Sometimes not even that much of a detriment, but we'll see if they can actually pull things straight back and continue to rack up rounds.
Perhaps because the two UMPs, I mean, Dennis was over towards the B-bomb site last time, but actually, look at this. Molotov's at the top. Flush is going to be on Catwalk. He's blocked off by smoke at the moment. 3 players at A. Pull off over towards the B-bomb site. And this is time it's a little bit slower pace from Astralis. They don't go for the fast-paced rush, but they do have mid control. No ability for Fnatic to really challenge that.
Yeah, so far they have been, well, relatively easily taking over this middle control, and, well, JW has to be very careful at the moment. It does look like he expects somebody to be boosted up in this window position, and I think he may have just seen the barrel of the gun. That's going to give it away. Kyobi, this time, not going to get anything done while boosted in. They are still set up over towards this A side. This split is on. They've got 2 players pushing in through connector at the moment, but Dennis up close could be absolutely perfect to counter the aggression of the bomb. And we are just now waiting to see when they're going to make their move. JW with the cross. Dennis, there we go. Bomb dropped. They know where this is coming in. The 4th player can rotate over. Xyp9x is also going to go down to the trusty ump, and the bomb dropped over towards ramp is going to make this so difficult for Astralis to get back into.
Yeah, there's really not a whole lot they can do into this. Glaive's on low HP. He can't take point. Dupree's going to try and pick off Olaf. He does find a kill. They've got a chance here in a 2-on-3. Dupree's got to basically do everything. Glaive just playing support. No utility left on either player as well, but the setup from Fnatic, the 3 players spread out. They have eyes on the bomb as well. They've got everything covered at the moment. Flusha looking for this exact play. Is he going to be prepared for it? He is. That is instantaneous. No chance from Dupree, and Glaive just has to save. I wonder if they had already made the save call. I'm wondering why maybe Dupree even took that peek, because, I mean, there were only 12 seconds left. No real chance of getting the bomb. Yeah, no real chance of recovering there.
It is going to be that trusty imp that helps them bounce back. Nice play from Dennis over towards ramp. They will be able to buy back up. Obviously, that flawless round helping them out wonderfully. And we will see the entry of the AWPs. In fact, 1 on either side.
JW picking up his trusty op, like you said. We'll see how aggressive he wants to play with that. There was a time when you could pretty much have faith that he would be jumping out the window, killing someone underpass, and just dominating from that kind of a role. This time, though, taking it over towards the B bomb site, likely he's going to go towards the van. So Olaf and Flusha changing up the look of this defense. There's going to be 2 rifles on catwalk. And there it is. Nice shot from JW.
It doesn't even matter. The device is waiting for it. And he's going to be holding the angle to try and catch out dupreeh, but he gets away with that AWP. Falls back. Look to take the pick himself. Molotov onto Zipix. Probably would have heard the damage done as well, so he will have to fall back. We do still have 2 players quite far back. Dennis able to get one, but is quickly traded out from Glaive. Crim's actually up towards the ramp at the moment, but the bomb in jungle. And
Did he not spot that?
he did. Now he will.
Definitely
Olaf going to go running, and well, he's going to actually take down the bomb. That's a horrible position for the bomb to be in. In fact, can't really think of much worse.
Well, I mean, that's incredible awareness from Olaf Meister, by the way. Getting shot at by the AWP and realizing he can still a chance he's getting wrapped upon. So the flank from Glaive doesn't work, and yeah, drops the bomb there. Tough spot to be in. Again, this almost feels like a round where there's really no chance for Astralis to recover, and it based on the position. Molotov forces Crims out. There's a nade, and actually the smoke hides the peak, but Zipnix wins it anyways, down to 1 HP. Again, dupreeh with a teammate that's just, you know, has no chance of creating action. It's got to be dupreeh with this AWP, find some picks.
And I wonder where Bogdan's lore is in this sort of scenario. 1 HP with the AWP, maybe give that over, see if he can actually pick something up there, but it's looking like they may just fall out of this round. Look to save the weaponry. As said, the bomb is in just an absolutely horrible position. And in terms of money, there is potential maybe to get something on the board, but it's still not going to be anything particularly good.
Yeah, I don't actually. I mean, Zipnix could obviously drop this AK and maybe drop a Galil or a UMP over. KRB can probably buy himself if they're going to go for something. dupreeh won't have a chance of dropping anything, so it will be a pretty strained buy, but it is a possibility that it comes out. Either way, Fnatic doing a good job of recovering, not letting Astralis run away early on when they win pistol, then they won 2 after that, and Fnatic kind of stops them cold.
And 2 rounds in a row, though, where the bomb has actually been dropped in positions that very, very difficult to recover.
Yep.
So I don't know if that's something that needs to be fixed at the moment from Astralis. We have seen a couple of mistakes coming in terms of smokes, at least.
I mean, it was a little bit of desperation in that play out of Glaive. He felt like he had to kind of make a move, had to kind of try and alleviate some of the pressure, give his team some kind of map control. Maybe a little bit unfortunate in that situation that he felt he had to do it with the bomb as well. But overall, can't fault him too much in that play, as it did seem like that round was pretty firmly in Fnatic's grasp.
Again, we are going to see mid-control going over to the T side. JW not quite able to hit the timing shot, and will rotate back over towards jungle, but it's going to be the quick push again, speeding things up over towards this B site, making their way out of shore. Flusha is going to drop the bomb. Nice shot from Olaf, but it's Flusha and this combo just doing all of the work. Only one man left. This device with the AWP, managing to get himself the first, looking for a little bit more, but that nade does so much damage, down to just 10 HP. And well, this bomb plant could be so valuable, but Dennis, is he going to deny it? Not quite, so there is a little bit more of a chance, but no. Bomb down, that's something at least. But the money, still not going to be too good over on that Astralis side.
No, it's not. This is going to have to be a little bit more of a relaxed round in terms of what they could bring to bear. Maybe some deagles, maybe some upgraded pistols, but we're going to see the pause out of Astralis. So wanting to talk things over before it gets too far out of hand. Either way, you're exactly right. Olaf and Flusha. It almost seemed like a very awkward setup to have in that bomb site. Flusha was actually playing in the site, and Olaf was just on the other side of the pillar. I mean, if Flusha falls there, Olaf's going to be in a really tough spot, but he had some very, very sick precision shots with great reaction.
You could say about either player, really.
Yeah.
Either one goes down, and the other one is just absolutely stuffed with the positioning, but well, this is why we talk about these individuals just able to spray away, and well, that's ridiculous that he survives versus both players. And then, well, we already had Olaf in this scenario just tapping bullets away, and it doesn't even seem like Zipix has any clue where those bullets are coming from. So
that's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's almost like, because that's just like an interesting setup, right? Because that's a spot that normally I think you check if you're coming this way, especially if you see a teammate die. But the fact that there was already one in the site maybe just threw him off. Sometimes you have to make those kind of educated guesses where the second player is going to be based off where the first player is. And at least, obviously, this time it was a little bit wrong. 3-5, and we're seeing a little bit of a reconnect, so a little bit of extra time on this pause.
I think it was actually due to technical. I think they said in the chat. So I think that this is just going to come down to something being up at the moment for Astralis. Now, in terms of their T-side is there any sort of number of rounds that you would be expecting to see Astralis get, or the amount they need to get to finish it off on the CT side? It's not really too dire yet at the moment. It's very, very early on in the game.
No, it's not even close to dire at this point. I think they're going to be happy in terms of like safety. Like if they get 5, it's all of a sudden not a bad half, right? It's not like disaster. 5 is definitely manageable for Astralis going into the CT side. Trouble is going to be, these Fnatic players, we saw them the past few days not looking that great. I mean, they did get kind of beat up pretty badly by Na'Vi on Overpass, but here on Mirage, they're looking good individually, and that's what starts to get scary. Olaf with some of those very nice shots. JW's having a good game so far. JW's up at 7 kills. Dennis at 6. Flush and Olaf Meister at 5. It's only Crims who's really been quiet in terms of 2 kills. Hasn't really had a whole lot going his way.
Yeah, the other thing to mention is if they're on this CT side and get everything rolling and then move on to the T side,
right,
and they're already hot, then that is where Fnatic are just, well, still potentially one of the scariest teams around, individually at least. And JW starting off on that AWP has looked very, very good as well. So if he can get things rolling over towards mid, then that's really been the main avenue that Astralis have been able to attack through. Like, they've been splitting through short, they've taken over window control quite a bit. Yep. If he then starts denying that, that's where things will really become a little bit scary.
Yeah, I mean, we saw he's been mobile as well. The first round he had that AWP, went over towards the B-bomb set in the van and actually picked off Device. And that's something as well, this offense from Astralis, a lot of it is dictated by where Device believes he can get that pick. Every round Device is saying, this is where I want to go with the op, this is where I want to try and get my kill, this is where I can have an impact, and kind of what they call is based around that. And at least for the first time we saw that duel, especially head-to-head, it's not successful. The unpause is in, so we'll get this underway any second now, as it is going to be still a full buy out of the Fnatic side. Astralis picking up some Tech 9's armor. Like we said, the economy is a little bit bruised on their side, but 3-round losing bonus, 4 rounds straight in the next one, so that'll help out a lot. Device saving up for that AWP.
So just looking to do as much damage as possible. Fnatic haven't been able to build up a plethora of cash just yet, and looking like this time they're not going to challenge towards mid, not going to go for anything of the sort. In fact, it's actually Fnatic going in that direction while they set up over towards A. This could work out perfectly, as they're going to be smoking most of the players completely out of the site. Now, it does mean that Fnatic are pretty much set for a retake, but in fact, Dennis is still going to kill one before anything begins. Traded back, though, Device, and even gets himself a rifle, so he's just going to look to try and take further aggression, push towards this CT spot, but waiting as JW takes him down. Bomb goes down, so already a success for Astralis, making themselves enough money for the next round, but they're going to go rotating once again. We saw them attempt this previously. It is with the Tech 9 this time, but it does mean that really Fnatic are just clearing angles, and there is nobody there. They're all coming in from behind.
Yeah, Caribbe's going to try and just be hyper-aggressive here and get spotted. Actually, unfortunately, Crims peeks out and he sees both of them, so they kind of know exactly what's coming. Smoke is down. I believe the defuse is coming in. Not quite yet, perhaps, but all the kills going their way. Glaive now, they know he's here. They're watching for it. Clever idea. Have Kirby kind of be the sacrificial lamb in mid and then Glaive follow it up. See if maybe you can trick Fnatic into a cheeky win. Doesn't work. Device is going to be back on the AWP with that plant, though.
Yeah, and unlike what we saw previously, this time they just tapped the bomb, and then they waited for the players to come to them. They took the jewels rather than just trying to defuse in the smoke, so making sure that they were just cleaning things up in a much safer sort of way, composed, I could say, from Fnatic. But as said, that was a success, really. They got a couple of kills, they got themselves the bomb down, and now they have a very good buy coming into this.
Has Dennis forgot armor? Can't tell if maybe that's a bug or... Okay, cool. That's not good. Couple mistakes, and you think that the smokes that Astralis, couple mistakes on both sides of these teams. So mid-control again. JW's here in the ladder room with that AWP, just holding an angle. Hasn't had anyone exposed to that quite yet. Dennis and Crims both playing right around the balcony. Here's the slow strangle from Astralis, working the way 2 up connector, 2 up the ramp. Here's the execute.
But in the meantime, we've actually seen Palace Control come in with 2 players there. JW will go down as he attempts to peek, and already we're going to lose another. But these 2 players are just going to wait. And in fact, Crims is going all the way back around. They're going to have 2 players in from behind. Bomb dropped. Dennis, there's the fact that he has no armor. That's going to take so much damage from that Molotov. And already we're going to lose Olov as well. The 2 players now both in from behind. But it doesn't really make that much of a difference. They're already going to be expecting a player to be around this area. And Device peeks out, misses the shot though. Crims gets himself back in, gets himself something. But I think from here on out, they are just going to look to save, especially considering Dennis has no armor.
Yeah, nice work from Astralis. I mean, this time it's just using all the smokes, using them all to deny information, and they got up connector for nothing. I mean, there was no one from Fnatic there to challenge it, no one expecting it, just a couple free kills on the entry. Little bit of a bummer, Crims wasn't more aggressive on that A ramp just because, I mean, obviously you saw Device, when he peeked back out to check the flank, he didn't think anyone was going to be that close. Once they knew Dennis was in apartments, they figured he'd be the one flanking, not realizing Crims was already there. So he had like a little bit of a window of opportunity, but I mean, it might not have mattered in the end just because Astralis was so dominant on the take. These fast-paced rounds actually catching Fnatic off guard. You think back to the other gun round, Astralis just kind of barreling their way into B very, very quickly.
I think the only thing that could have really gone wrong in that round was just JW. If he'd caught them like at the right time when they ran through that smoke, it could have gone their way, but that's all just talking about things that never happened. Double AWP invested in. Olov will pick up the secondary, and this time Dennis has invested into a little bit of Kevlar as well.
Yeah, that's always good to see. Glaive at the top mid, he's going to spot out a lot of aggression, gets one kill, almost recovered onto the second, but that's going to be the indication. That's the in-game leader saying, everyone come out AA bomb site right now. Make this execute happen. They're going to have control if they want it. 3 players of Fnatic in the connector. That is not ideal. They cannot make their way. A stream of nades coming their way. Dennis is not as blind as they would have liked, but the pre gets the kill. They line up. Crims responds. It's a battle, though. Olofmeister and Spawn's got to do some work, but he falls, and now there's only 1 point of attack for this retake. Again, Astralis with this up-tempo playstyle punishing Fnatic.
And it was just all down to that one piece of information that they found. However, Crim's still looking for something in this round. Going to go peeking towards CT. May just be hoping to try and hold them back in, but the bomb is ticking away. If they're going to make any sort of play in this round, it has to be quickly. And they are actually going to switch out to the M4, so they are going for this. Device, he gets tagged, but Xyp9x has already traded back onto Crims, and while JW with the last bullet able to connect, but at this point, he should just be getting out of there. There's no hope. He's got no kit, in fact, and all he can really hope to do is maybe hold them towards the bomb, but not going to happen. 5th round on the board. That's the safety margin gain for Astralis, and now, well, the money comes into contention for Fnatic.
Yeah, now it's the bummer situation for Fnatic because they're going to be starting to run low on money. They've got a couple buys them if they want to force up here. I think they could have 2 rifles and you know, I think an upgraded pistol and a UMP if they want to go for that, but might just be safer to concede 1 round and just stay back on the pistols. Let Astralis get up towards 6 and get started again with the rifles in the next round.
Yeah, they're still all around that sort of 2K margin as well, and with 2,400 coming in the next, much more of an opportunity. JW is going to be peeking out with the pistol. Can't find anything just yet, and already pushing over towards B aggressively is Dupree. Finds the first kill, looking for more, knows that Flusher is on shore. He's just trying to take this site alone, and in fact, there's 3 players now just challenging him. He finds one, gets the second as well. So smart in his play. Dennis will eventually shut him out, but in the meantime, the bomb already looking to rotate back towards this A site.
Yeah, as well, KRB is going to be in position as also to stop Dupree from just running away and saving that AK-47. That's something with the economy where it is. Maybe Astralis is not so committed to taking it out of his hands, but they would love to have it. And actually, Dennis is even rotating over to see if he can make any magic happen. If Crims gets one of these digs, that would help out, but timing looks away at the wrong moment. Crims talked about tilt in his pregame interview, and nothing is more tilting than feeling like you're always looking away at the wrong time.
Does have armor behind this AK, so there won't be any aim punch at least, but runs around the corner. Glaive finishes him off, and that's another round on the board with 4 players surviving for Astralis, so making up more and more money.
Now, Fnatic has to figure out how they want to slow down this fast-paced style of Astralis. The tough part is, I mean, the last round obviously just on pistols, but even before that, maybe not having the utility required, not enough Molotovs, but maybe not recognizing that it's coming out this consistently. And it's been Dupree on the Astralis side who has just shot up the standings. He's having a phenomenal game, 12-9, really picking up some of the slack to get Astralis tied up. This time, though, Astralis changes things. They go a little bit slower, but it does look like it's going to be that same kind of idea. Strangle towards the A bomb site, smokes are out in mid and catwalk, information denied for Fnatic. And connector is exposed.
And I think the other thing is, with these faster plays, we are seeing the sort of baiting out of a lot of utility early on, down to 1 minute 25, and you can already see how many nades have just been thrown out by the Swedish. They're just scared that these pushes are going to come in, and already they have lost that mid control. Again, straight through, taking over jungle. 2 players currently in towards dark, but they're going to win the first duel, but Glaive very quickly trading things back. Another lost as well, and this pincer movement currently going on to A. They just can't deal with it, Fnatic. They're not finding anything in these sort of early scenarios. And well, now JW, he's waiting. He's hoping that Dupree can make some sort of mistake and maybe give him a way back into this round. He will, in fact, just take the jaw himself, and actually looking for Device, who's very, very low on HP. Maybe that nade will finish him off. It will, back to a 2 versus 2, but they don't have a kit to play with. So again, they have to move very, very quickly to get back onto the site. And it's not in the most default plant spot either, making things even more difficult for this CT side. They've got to spot out all of these angles. Glaive, he's going to add one more. The kit has been found by Olaf, but he's got 2 players to find, and it's not going to happen. Xyp9x will help string another round on the board for Astralis, and they're well on their way to winning this half.
Yeah, really tough for Fnatic, because you could see just a few rounds ago they tried to switch things up and at least eliminate the mid portion of this attack, but that round it was only Glaive at the top of mid. He gets that 1 kill, if you recall, but no one else is there, and that's when Astralis just takes the A bomb site with 4. This time, though, Fnatic plays, 3 people essentially in a line, 1 on the site, 1 towards ticket booth, and 1 under balcony. And just when the pressure starts getting applied up connector, they couldn't slow it down, and that forces 2 players into balcony. And again, just players clumped up, and you can't really do a whole lot. So that kind of a defense as well, when you're stuck in those awkward situations, it's just kind of like you either dominate the round or you all just get cleaned out without very much success. And that time, obviously, no success.
Now you have to start worrying a bit for Fnatic. It is going to be an 8th round likely to come in on the board unless these pistols can work some magic once again and maybe give them that little bit of an extra boost going into that second half. Of course, for Astralis at this point, they've been keeping quite a few players alive, so the money will be there and for the last couple of rounds as well. And they're actually not even going to opt to buy back in for an AWP. Just stick with the flat rifles. The likelihood is they know there's pistols coming in this round, so don't want to risk dropping an AWP over to that CT side, which could in fact change the round. And once again, just going to look for those long-range battles into middle, hold a default, and wait for aggression.
JW's the one player at the moment for Fnatic that could really throw a wrinkle into this. Now, Device is pretty well hidden from his flank. And meanwhile, they would have to survive all this pressure put onto the B bomb site with just pistols. 2 players coming up catwalk. This is great from Astralis. Even on the gun rounds, it's teams working in pairs, basically. Duos working their way across the map. When it goes A, it's connector. Ooh. That's nice from Dennis. 2 kills. Can he do more? No.
Fortunately not. Device in from behind is going to end any sort of highlight reel for Dennis in this sort of scenario. Now JW probably just hoping that he can get out with a weapon in this round, find something at least to be picked up. Again, comfortably taking over this B site, and, well, Device not even going to allow him to get anything done in this round. 3 players survive. Obviously, it's not really a problem at this point for Astralis. The rounds and the money is already in their favor.
I mean, it's interesting that Fnatic hasn't had the money to really do this, but the ops might be the solution. If they can find a way to at least give themselves, I mean, Astralis is doing a great job of denying information, denying line of sight to those AWPs, but if they can find a way, JW, it's basically his job in this round to find a kill in middle, and he's going to have a chance. Another duel with a Device potentially coming up. Device just looking for a peek at connector, and is he going to swing out wide? I imagine it's going to be a flashbang or someone jumping across, and there it is. Oh, not quite yet. That smoke is pretty much going to delay that fight coming out. Spam from Crims into the smoke, it's not going to do much.
And it does seem like at the moment JW really hasn't had much of an opportunity to try and get that AWP in play. The boost will come in over the smoke. JW just playing passively, watching for Underpant's presence. Obviously, they have taken control in that sort of area very often in this game so far to split back through connector. This time, Crims is waiting in the connector itself with JW actually supporting. But again, they're just going to be able to get this mid control and decide where they want to go. And by the rotation that's currently coming out, it's looking like it may be A site again.
This time, Crims in the top of connector. Oh, he's out in the open. That's actually very, very risky from Crims. Still a lot of utility. I mean, not a lot of smokes in the Astralis side. Plenty of Molotovs to kind of use in its place. On the other side, Fnatic is really kind of dwindling in what they can do. All of Astralis now mid-control. They've applied so much pressure. There's so much attention from Fnatic is on mid. It's been a point of collapse in their defense for the majority of this half. Now re-rotating around to the A side of the map, and it's just Dennis close up. If they do get this kill, if they do start executing here, the other members are going to be locked out.
Other rounds they managed to win was down to this man going aggressive, and he's trying to hold them off. Fake flash with the pistol, but jumps into the angle, falls. There's not a lot of time left on the clock, but the bomb should be planted comfortably by the remaining players. But flusha, he may be able to deny it. Gonna go for the spray, stops the bomb. There's only seconds left to spare, and actually JW catches the second. That will be the round done for Fnatic, and just the timing there from flusha is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and really, I mean, just sacrificing himself essentially. That kind of spray, he knows he's going to die, he knows he's exposed, but he does stop the plant from coming in. So finally, towards the end, Fnatic, they handle the early aggression and then they finish off the round. Either way, it was a great recovery from Astralis. They win 5 straight to take the lead in the first half, 8-7. When we return from the break, can Fnatic come back on the T side? Can we get some of that star plays from their individual players? Welcome back. Fnatic taking on Astralis. They got beat up a little bit in the first half. Time to recover those. Some of the most legendary players, two of the most legendary teams facing off here. The middle of the group stage. It's not an elimination match, but definitely both of these teams wanting to have that advantage of getting on the verge of qualifying.
Well, yeah, the scary thing as well is we know that in the same sort of pool as the team that loses will be Virtus Pro, and
yeah,
if they match up, if that somehow happens, if the nightmare begins, you do not want to be the team in that position.
Well, yeah, regardless of what we've seen out of Virtus Pro, they looked a little bit lackluster, obviously, earlier tonight, but, I mean, every professional team, they'll tell you that Virtus Pro is a scary team to face because you just never know when that flip is going to switch, and you're going to get the dangerous, the scary, the dominating Virtus Pro. So a lot to play for here. On the T side is Fnatic. Utility is out. It's a smoke wall towards the A bomb site. They're going to do a little bit of a split on their own. Olaf and Dennis getting ready to come up connector. Can they get these opening kills? No one from Astralis is looking this way. It's a free kill onto KRB. Devices has to get around the wall. He cannot face off against this pressure. He's got to hold the line, but he can't do it. The Tech Nines, Dennis and Olaf Meister, a double raid boss buy, just destroys this Astralis defense.
The double dinks doing the damage, and while that leaves Zipix trying to rotate back in all alone. And it's just not, they're not going to give him a second to think. Those Tech Nines absolutely destroyed. And, well, it looks like the investment of those $500 was what was spent.
I'm sure Fnatic is also a little bit happy to see, you know, after they got beat up from mid, coming up connector that entire first half. They're like, yeah, we know it's a weakness of yours too. We know it's a tough spot. So they go right at it. And, I mean, that's the interesting part is the smoke walls come up and, I mean, everyone from Astralis just glued onto that A bomb site. No one even glancing that way. No one even considering it as a possibility.
We'll invest back into this round. Obviously, Device is saving up for that AWP. Didn't see too much of an AWP battle into the previous half, at least. JW playing relatively passively. And mid really did go the way of the other side for most of the game.
Kind of the funny part about this map is that it's consistently talked about as a map that operators can have a lot of success, but it's only when like your opponents don't have a whole lot of utility, because otherwise it's just so easy to block off pretty much every favorable angle for operators. You could see it out of JW. Even just seeing what was happening on the map was difficult for him in that first half when he had the AWP.
Looking to take mid-control of their own, JW will start taking down Dupree. And while they are cleaning up with these UMPs at the moment already, finding a couple of kills, making themselves $600 per. And with a minute left on the clock, they still have this middle control. A little bit of a push coming out from Glaive at the moment over towards ramp, just to clear the angle itself. Not spotting anyone as of yet, but Fnatic still have lots of time. Kyobi taking the peak, spots them going towards short, and they now know exactly where this push is going to be coming in. Xyp9x with a lot to do. Spots one, doesn't take the shot, but he's going to go down. Kyobi managing a little bit of magic with the D, but he's got so much more to do and will be shut down by the nade, in fact, of Olaf, leaving just Glaive over towards this window, hoping he can at least take someone with him.
It doesn't look likely. 2 HP. Nice round from Fnatic, only suffering 1 loss as they make their way into that B bomb site. 9-8 now. It's also, I mean, they didn't win the pistol round in the first half, but they did win the second and third round. They responded with Astralis pistol round win with the pistols in the following round. So got themselves some good early starts on both halves here. And this time it's going to be Astralis. This is going to be a little bit easier. So you imagine flusha and JW with those UMPs going to be the more aggressive ones. The the SMGs against the unarmored opponents, get some bonus money, build up some cushion in the economy.
On that bank. Nothing invested whatsoever from the CT side, but they still get the first kill. flusha goes down. The aggression of that UMP doesn't work out whatsoever. That must have been an instant double dink. And actually, they've got another onto Dennis, so they've got to be a little bit careful that they don't lose too many players. This is not the scenario where you want to be losing your money. This is where you should be making it. And look at the HP. Luckily for them, well, never mind. Device will still get one more. And there's even a potential for a third, but, well, Crims with the dunk, at least keeping all 3 rifles alive.
Yeah, that's the big thing. I mean, the UMP is just getting aggressive. flusha getting taken down like that is a little bit surprising, but still too much firepower on the Fnatic side for Astralis to really swing that into their favor. The AWP is out on a Device. He's only got 1 flashbang with it as well. 4 smokes on the CT side. There's not going to be any kits, so retakes will have to be quick. JW has the AWP as well on the T side.
For this challenge once again. It's actually going to be the push into Palace from JW, just using it as a counter for any sort of aggression, but he can't counter that. Device wins the first duel. The push out from Dennis gives no reward. And now the T's are actually just going to fall back and try and challenge mid once again. And the bomb will rotate away from the A site. Only 1 man will stay there, and it's JW looking for that pick.
Yeah, I wonder what the thought process was for Fnatic there. Maybe they figured that there was going to be a little bit more attention from Astralis for mid-control on the CT side and just, see if 1 flashbang can help Device get up and find a one-on-one duel. Either way, obviously, it doesn't work that time. JW, on the other hand, with his own AWP, is up in Palace. He's just going to hold an angle, hope someone rotates or just wanders into his crosshair. And look at Device. This has become a trademark of this Astralis team on the CT side. He finds a pick somewhere and rotates to the other side of the map.
Try and be as unpredictable as possible. The rotation away, though, was just for a moment, as now the T's look to try and push back in. They've still got a lot of utility to play with, actually, so they could try and at least smoke off a couple of angles. They've got some Molotovs as well to play with, but there's 3 players ready and waiting. The split will be in from flusha as he looks to try and make his way a little bit late through connector, but it's Glaive just holding the angle, a little bit of an off angle, in fact, but that's a lovely shot from flusha. Still gets dinked himself, and now Glaive looks away. The timing just perfect there, working out for Fnatic, but they've still got to get past the remaining 2 players on this side. The rotation a little bit slow from 1 more. And we will actually see Kyobi picking up a kill. So back to a 3 versus 3. They're all going to be around this site as well. Lovely shot from Crims to bring it into that 3 versus 2. And the AWP of Device is now trying to push back in through connector, but they're just holding this angle. They're waiting for him to go for this peak. And Crims switching to the wrong one will actually give him that way back into it, but they don't have any kits. They've got to make their move. They've got to get there just that little bit quicker. Otherwise, Olaf can just burn down this time. But Debris still managing 1 more. It's all onto the AWP of JW. And, well, Device will hold the angle, get himself the kill, and hold onto that defuse.
Yeah, does he have the time? No, he doesn't. Not at all. They've won it, so Fnatic does take it in the end.
And he goes down.
Yep, that's heartbreaking, but Dupree has swapped out his M4 for the AWP of JW, so, I mean, silver lining there. Not a bad retake, though. Some awkward situations all players are put in. I mean, normally on a standard gun run when Astralis has everything they could use, Glaive inside that bomb site, you saw he had to shift his attention once Flusha gets that kill towards Connector. If they have utility, that's going to be smoked off by the defense, so he doesn't necessarily have to worry about it. That's a very tough fight to take if you're coming up Connector as a terrorist. But because they don't have the nades, because they don't have the utility, he has to switch his focus, and that's when the A-hit comes into play. They just swing wide on him, and he's not even ready. Close loss for Astralis either way. They almost managed to recover. The op still in Device's hands, and he's being aggressive. He's trying to make an impact in the early stages of the round so the pistols can have an advantage to help clean up.
Got to be that catalyst player, using a little bit of a gap in the smoke that he actually threw. JW is going to be holding onto this connector, though, expecting some sort of push. They are going to challenge for this mid-control early on. They've got players waiting for any sort of aggression. They know that the CT economy is not going to be in the best of states, so they're just going to wait, try and force mistakes out of these CT players.
He's using that smoke at the top connector to peek up towards Catwalk. Does spot one. Likely knows there's two there based on the nade, and he's almost catching Dupree off through the smoke, just spamming. No commitment anywhere yet. Olofmeister going to come back towards Palace. This could be an interesting fight because Caribbe's pushing up. They're going to get into a little bit of a duel here, and there's Olofmeister with the win. Focused and prepared as always, and now you can see the Fnatic offense readjusting, coming back towards the A-bomb site, but so is Device with that AWP. It's still in play, so there's still danger out on the map.
Actually, this is a nice little angle coming in from Dupree just to try and hold off this split. Flusha, the man again, to try and push in through connector. Glaive will be up close, and he's just sort of baiting out for that AWP that will be holding the angle. He'll look to try and push, try and take the damage, and he actually gets a couple. Lovely stuff from Glaive. He's going to get 3, leaving it all onto Olov in a 1 versus 2. Dupree very low on HP, but he's going to go for the plant. He doesn't have much time, and tapping away his Zipix. Huge stuff from Glaive, winning a round out of nothing.
That was such a dirty bait and switch, and normally you think that's going to have the most effect if that op on Device gets the kill. He's going to catch on to that. Fnatic has now used that same flashbang to force him back out of that position three times or so. So, I mean, he's going to get used to that. He's going to change how he's playing so that flashbang won't have as much of an effect. But either way, Glaive, some stunning shots. How many times have we seen Glaive bail this team out on some CT sides? Whenever they need a round to get back on the board, shift the momentum, he always seems to come up with the goods. And this is an interesting buy out of Fnatic. Op on Olaf isn't that bad, but op on Crims is a little interesting, and then 3 Tech 9s beside it.
Yeah, this is a sort of risky strategy to take. Of course, they can just pick up these AWPs again if those players go down. So really, this is the ultimate pick style of play coming out from Fnatic at the moment. And, well, already one being spotted. Device just using that boost on the bench to try and find an off angle. He has used this before, and I don't think they're going to be too worried about it again. I think one of the last times I saw it, he actually killed JW using that exact spot. But still going to be these Tech 9s in middle. Olov with the AWP.
It's just so weird how they expect to get kills with this at the moment. It's gotta be slow, obviously, with a double op, but Crims isn't even necessarily peeking aggressively out Palace. So Dennis boosted up. When that smoke clears, he's going to be in a very awkward position. Olaf is the one leading the way up Catwalk with that AWP, and he's got the unenviable task of clearing out ladder room. Dennis and Olofmeister both go down quickly. This double up buy doesn't look like it's doing much good for Fnatic, and there's JW coming through the smoke. An easy kill for KRB, and they're just getting mopped up. No danger whatsoever.
Yeah, this is just doing a huge favor for Astralis, spending a hell of a lot of money in that round. And, well, they've done no damage at all.
That's going to be around probably brought up. Remember it, because I think the analyst desk, I'm sure Yanko and Duncan will have something to say about that kind of a buy at this stage in the game. Because look at what follows it. I mean, everyone's sitting right around 2K, so a lot of money spent, and to get no kills, you're not only, I mean, delaying when you can get a solid buyout again on the T side, but you're also allowing Astralis to just build up some money in their own banks and survive some losses, make it harder to reset them in the future.
You sort of think, like, normally you go for those force buys when in the next round there's not something better coming, but you think what they could have got in this round off the back of that, it is a bit of a weird scenario to take. Either way, very aggressive push, double, make it 3, 4 from Device. It's eco frags, but it's still impressive. Dennis just holding from behind. Can he get one at least? That's something. An extra $300 for him, but Device just cleaning shop.
That's some big boy opping right there. That's so sick out of window, especially that 4th kill. Device picking things up here. First, I mean, a collateral, obviously. The double kill is nice. But yeah, I mean, no real danger to begin with in this rush. This was just kind of Device maybe getting into the mode a little bit, warming up.
Shooting gallery.
Some of that aimbots that Alex was talking about on the desk earlier.
Yeah, well, he has been practicing for days now, so just a little bit more practice mid-game.
Well, now the 5 AK-47s come out, and this is tough. Good call in the middle of this match for Astralis. Kirby is pushed all the way up mid. He's going to have so much intel of what's coming. He'll have a fast flank as well, and the real crippling thing is the bomb is left behind. If he spots that, he's going to be so happy. He'll have a big grin on his face, and even maybe even being able to pick one off as they fall back to go get it.
Yeah, he's got it now.
Yeah, he's standing on it at the moment.
It's interesting to see how they'll actually react to this. He's just going to be holding in the back lines as they fall back to try and get this bomb. They line up for Kirby. Impact done. And now, well, what do you do here? You've got map control if you're Fnatic. Maybe JW can make a similar sort of play. Kirby going to go running in. This is the round of surprises. Nobody knowing where the opponents are, but Device is still going to pick one more off with that AWP. And JW, not quite this time. Glaive is aware. The in-game leader outsmarts JW. And now, well, Olaf, he can at least retrieve the bomb. He's got 45 seconds and 3 men to find.
This would have to be just a god performance out of him in this 1-on-3. It would be so nice for Fnatic, but yeah, a little bit unfortunate. They find exactly what they wanted, but I mean, maybe one of the few rounds no one's watching mid whatsoever. They wanted to just come back and pick up that bomb. They didn't want to dedicate themselves to that B bomb site, and KRB just happens to find it. Easy double kill for him. But Olaf, his position's given up, and I don't think he's even going to come close to clearing closet. He's not. Dupree sprays him down. Astralis take the lead, 12-11.
Now, well, not going to be much of an investment in this for Fnatic. Unable to get a whole lot on the board. It is looking like they'll invest down probably to just below that 2K mark, get themselves some pistols, at least try and do some damage to, well, quite a big bank over on that CT side.
Yeah, I mean, this is now 3 rounds where Astralis has actually built up money. So, I mean, they have plenty of it. Fnatic needs to do some damage. They need to limit it for when they get around, where when they finally win a round, it can really, I mean, hopefully break the economy. That would be so nice for them this late in the game. Otherwise, Astralis might just run away with it. 2 players at B for the Danes. This is where Fnatic is heading. Actually going to take some players in the underpass route. Dennis and JW, they're KRB watching in mid, but now comes the push. Pre, does he realize this pressure? He drops that for if they come out the window, but no one really moving forward from Fnatic quite yet.
And they're actually going to boost back into the window, and Dennis has just done exactly what was needed. It leaves just Zipix on the site. He's got to do so much as he's being pincered in, and he's only going to get 1. That is the round over. They've taken the site. It's going to have to be a ridiculous retake from the remaining 2 players. They do, however, have mostly pistols, but it doesn't even look like Glaive is attempting this at all.
This is one of those miracle rounds that's always mentioned when Fnatic comes into play. There's no good reason why that should have worked outside of the fact that Dennis just goes beast mode. Boosted up, quick kill, salvages the rifle and 1 more. Just a heavy individual play. Because over at the B bomb site, there were 2 Astralis players zoned in on that push. I mean, they were locked in. There was no way they were going to have success in that kind of an environment. Zipnix and Dupree there. But it's all Dennis with that 1 kill. Pulls the attention away of Dupree, and then even cleans him out.
Nice at least making this very, very costly. We know there's going to be a buyback up, no problems for Astralis going into the next round. So dropping 2 players, only 1 rifle will in fact be saved by Fnatic, even though it is that sort of miracle round. But yeah, pretty costly in the end.
The value of taking that op out of Device's hands and forcing that as a rebuy would have been so nice. I don't think they expected him to be there, to be honest. I mean, there's almost no great reason. I mean, it's not a huge risk, I guess, for him because of that the range with the AWP. But I mean, with the buy going anyways, the economy of taking those guns away isn't a huge issue.
We're going for the long haul. 12-12. Of course, the loser of this has that chance to face off against Virtus Pro. There doesn't want to be that sort of elimination match scenario. Aggressive push early on from Flusher to spot out anyone in underpass, and we do have a little bit of a push coming in from Device, switching up again his spot with this AWP. But this time there is no challenge over towards mid. They are watching it, of course, after what happened previously. I don't think they'll let that slip once again. They're actually going to go for it a little bit later, but will they expect Device to be this close?
Yeah, that's the question. Are they how dedicated are they to taking mid control? They're waiting for Flush and Crims to come from underneath, so actually smoke is used or attempting to be used to disguise the fact that he's holding that angle. One really obliging for that kind of a peek. So Crims looks like he's going to be left where he is, and actually this is going to be a hit from Fnatic, rotating through T-spawn at the moment. Even Crim's slinking back just a little bit. He's going to be delayed up connector, maybe to just try and help alleviate some pressure as they make their way into the site. The question is, what is flusha going to do? Maybe a fake towards that B bomb site, just throw his nades out and have some presence, trying to freeze Device and Xyp9x there. Either way, this could be deadly for Astralis.
flusha has been the man to go for those sort of rotations back through underpass, and it is looking like they're just going to send 2 players there this time. Kirby actually just hiding back box at the moment, and well, will Olof actually check it? No, he will not. That's going to be the opening kill. There's only 25 seconds left. The bomb looking to try and be planted, but there's JW and Crims. They open things up. Can open it onto the site, and it's only really Glaive trying to get back in. Device will spot one and actually hits the shot through the wall, but can't quite kill anyone. Xyp9x will, though. Back to a 3 versus 3. Still trying to make their way back into the site, but you can see 2 players over towards connector at the moment, where the bomb is currently planted for, and then the rotation actually coming in towards Palace as well from JW, as he looks to try and just split, make this very, very difficult, and Glaive is still just waiting, but they see the peak. Crims gets one, flusha gets another, and now Device will go down as well, and Fnatic, they take back their lead. This game could not be closer.
Yeah, what a nice win from Fnatic in that 3-on-3, and that fake from flusha did exactly what it was meant to do. This just one smoke, no real presence either. Smoke and a flash. Device and Xyp9x froze there for just an extra couple seconds. Even dupreeh kind of comes out of a window room, and that's not a huge rotation, but what it does prevent him to do is get towards top connector and really hold off until they've already gotten up it and established their positions from the 3-on-3. Great, great post plant. Now they're starting to do it. Now the money is low for Astralis, 13-12, and if Fnatic gets an economic reset here, it might be the end, but Device has something to say. JW falls, 5-on-4 advantage for the defense.
And we finally see that mid challenge, and Device comes out the victor already. Damage done as well onto Olof. And well, a few praying shots from flusha as he wants to try and take away that advantage that Astralis have just gained. Majority of players are just waiting around this sort of back apps point for any further aggression from the CT side, but they don't really need to. They've got no need to make these sort of plays when they're already a man up, and their utility, actually, considering that this is their lower portion of their money, is still pretty good. They've got the incendiaries ready and waiting to slow down any aggressive pushes that come in.
Fnatic really not having any kind of minor map control. Olaf in mid just realizes, I mean, he's just preventing any kind of information or aggression or flank from coming in. With the AWP, no one's really peeking this time around. Device still over at the A bomb site. Again, Fnatic poised to go exactly where he's not. Olaf in mid with that op. Doesn't want to be too aggressive, wants to stay alive, wants them to have success over at the B bomb site and be able to pick off rotations. Here it comes. Molotov is going to split them up. Crims makes his way through, but that's it. They have to wait. They have to delay. Smoke is out. There goes Olaf in mid. Here comes the hit. Xyp9x holding it down perfectly. Still alive. There's dupreeh. It's all down to Dennis in a 1-on-4. They have made no progress whatsoever. This is going to be an Astralis round, so it will be tied up 13-13. Dennis spinning, can't find the kill.
A lot of really nice positional play in that round, especially from Xyp9x as well, just maneuvering himself back. Yeah. The Molotov just perfectly splits them in half, and any push there was just denied so quickly by Astralis. And now we actually have to look at the money once again. It doesn't look like it's going to... Well, actually, no, are they going to fully invest? I think they are. They're going to risk it, going with an AK and a lot of utility. But the weaponry definitely isn't up to scratch.
I mean, this is where, if this is looking like it's just going to be a standard A execute, and this is where those Tech 9s that UMP have to just get flat out hyper-aggressive through the smokes and rely on JW with that AK-47. They're putting them up in Palace for that range just to be able to help them out. Maybe pick off one player as they kind of enter in.
Quick push. They do still have Device, but he's going to be smoked off as they look to try and get towards the site, get that bomb down as quickly as possible. The spray from dupreeh is going to achieve absolutely nothing as all these nades are thrown out and they're spamming away, but this bomb is going to be comfortably planted. But there we go. Actually, one from dupreeh through the smoke, already giving them this man advantage. Now, in terms of weaponry utility, they have everything on their side at the moment, and they're just looking to try and find this retake. Fnatic, they are just going to have to play this wonderfully with the weapons that they have and hope that maybe JW could do something, but it's just nothing. The only kill that's going to come in fact, is a team kill, and another on the board. The bomb at least planted, but Fnatic get wiped out. Yeah, phenomenal from Astralis. No one getting impatient, no one trying to make too much of a play through those smokes. Fnatic just wanted to get the bomb planted, and maybe if someone from Astralis is trying to peek through it or get aggressive to make a play, they can pick them off and salvage a rifle and make something happen, but
Astralis just waits. They just wait it out, and you could see Fnatic knows once those smoke clears, the fact that they didn't have any success in kills up to that point just means that they have no chance. So they all get aggressive, trying to make some magic happen, but they're all swinging out in the open, and that's perfect for Astralis. I think the story of this match down the stretch might be, you know, you can always question those kinds of buys. That buy there and maybe the one earlier where it was 3 Tech-9s and 2 AWPs.
Especially now, because you look at this sort of round and either they wait, play for OT, which I think would be sort of the more logical decision.
That's why you're gonna. I mean, with that in mind, that's why you criticize that previous buy so much. That's why there would be something that you can critique from that and say, why not just save that round, and then you're at 13-14. You actually have some guns to prevent playing for overtime. Instead, now they have another round where they only have one AK-47. Got some UMPs, but what are those really going to be able to do? Dupree pushing up mid. Actually, this time Fnatic's waiting for it. Although Dupree's going to be patient.
I go for anything as of yet. Actually, just going to be watching into underpass.
I wonder if Dupree knows that Glaive left him for just a second and went all the way around a connector, just looking backwards. If Fnatic could just walk out at that moment, it's just a free kill on a silver plate.
I think it probably, well, maybe not. They would have been so confused as to just him facing the other way that may have just blown their minds. But Glaive has come back to help him out. A couple of players going to go back into underpass again, and it does seem to be just setting up once more to try and challenge for mid and then maybe split towards this A side. But already JW going to go down, but the problem is that flash was perfect. Dupree left in that middle spot. Glaive does abandon him because he's blind. Now they actually have an opportunity to pick up another weapon in that mid position and make this buy look a lot better.
A little bit of hilarity. I mean, JW gets caught with a nade out and just killed in that fashion, but he gets the nade off. It's the flashbang that blinded Glaive that forced him back and just kind of abandoned Dupree. He had to do it. So 4-on-4. Still an okay amount of utility on the Fnatic side of things, and this is going to be one of those A-splits. Devices here. Glaive is in window room. This is a good defense from Astralis, all things considered, because Xypnix is halfway pushed up into those B halls. He's got info. He knows there's no pressure.
Yeah, quite a bit of a gamble from Astralis, but a fair one as well, just because of how many times this A site has been hit, and already Device is going to get one. Kirby was burning, but it doesn't seem to matter. Every player getting cleaned up, and now Dennis with 15 seconds, and just hope on his side, and it's going to be crushed by the in-game leader, Glaive. 3 kills for him in this round, and while it seems like abandoning Dupree was the right decision to make.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't even really have a choice. He was just blind, right? So it's just, sorry, you're going to die. Either way, 15-13, Astralis. This has been a great half for them. I mean, 4 straight earlier on. They lose 2, and now they're back to 3 straight. So pretty dominating once they finally got the money settled in. And for Fnatic, this has been 3 very, very poor buys to end this game.
Yeah, just sort
Or
of...
excuse me, it would be 2 very poor buys to end this game. Or no, this is the 3rd.
Yeah.
I had it right the first time.
Well, it seems like they may have actually forced themselves out of this one. They've got to try and make the miracle plays, and already Flusher is going to be low. And Haid not quite going to chase him up, but they're going to go straight out. Glaive this time is going to go down. And the crossfire isn't really going to be there. They should be able to get this bomb down. Smoke will block off Device. They are going to be able to get that plant without any losses. The problem is they're so low on HP, and once again, it's one of those spots where we're just waiting for this retake to come in, but decent position from Flusher. He's actually going to walk past his opponent. Kirby's still behind him, so now there's a flank on the flanker. Xypnix has got back in. Flusher almost gets that duel off, but he's still going to lose his life. Spam away, hoping to try and find something, but it's just not working out at the moment for this Fnatic side. They're so low on HP, they're going to have to perform an absolute miracle, and Crims is going to go down all onto Dennis. The bomb not planted for him. Absolutely no chance in this scenario. Game is over. Astralis go 2-1, and Fnatic will have to fight in that lower.
Yeah,
portion.
but Astralis was tested mightily in that. A couple times down the stretch where they found themselves actually losing it. Helped out a little bit maybe by some of those buys from Fnatic, but I mean, it's no doubt these two teams have had a lot of memorable best-of-ones in group stages, over the years, but this one right here, nice recovery from Astralis, some very good play on the CT side. We liked what we saw from Fnatic. I mean, they started out very, very well, maybe some decision-making, but overall, I mean, probably the best we've seen them play as a team in this event so far.
Yeah, I think if you actually take out a few of those sort of T-sided risky buys, they could have taken this and probably much earlier. I think they took those risks. You can kind of see why they did a couple of them, but like the double AWP was really odd. just the way that it came
Yes, that's a good way to put it. It was very, very odd. So, yeah, and that kind of things. I mean, it's just you could see Astralis is just a whole different team once they have control of their money. They're just so very good. They can do so many different things. They can play so many different ways. They have such a deep playbook that when they have the money to do anything they can want, that's when it gets very difficult. Either way, best team in the world takes out Fnatic. We'll have to see what the dust thinks. Take it away, Alex.